Today our topic is the Stoics' approach to handling criticism. Criticism is something everyone faces in life. It can come from friends, family, co-workers, or even strangers. It can feel painful, unfair, or even embarrassing. But the Stoics, ancient philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, teach us that criticism doesn't have to control our emotions or ruin our day. Instead, we can learn to handle it with calmness, clarity, and even gratitude. Let's explore how. First, the Stoics remind us that we cannot control what others say or think about us. This is a key idea in Stoicism. Focus on what is within your control and let go of what is not. When someone criticizes you, their words and opinions are not in your control. You cannot force them to stop or change their mind. What you can control is how you respond. You can choose to stay calm, to listen, and to decide whether the criticism is useful or not. This shift in focus from trying to control others to controlling yourself is powerful. It gives you freedom. You no longer feel like a victim of someone else's words. Instead, you become the master of your own reactions. Second, the Stoics teach us to separate criticism from our self-worth. Just because someone criticizes you doesn't mean you are worthless or a failure. Many people criticize others out of their own insecurities, jealousy, or misunderstandings. Their words often say more about them than about you. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his personal journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you remember that your value does not depend on others' opinions, criticism loses its power to hurt you. You can hear it, evaluate it, and move on without letting it define you. Third, Stoicism encourages us to see criticism as an opportunity for growth. Even if criticism feels harsh or unfair, it can still teach us something. Epictetus, a former slave who became a great Stoic teacher, said, "If someone tells you that you are wrong, don't get angry. Instead, thank them for pointing out something you might not have noticed." This doesn't mean you have to agree with every criticism, but it does mean you can approach it with curiosity. Ask yourself, is there any truth in this? Can I learn from it? Sometimes, criticism reveals blind spots or areas where you can improve. By staying open-minded, you turn criticism into a tool for self-improvement. Fourth, the Stoics remind us to practice humility. No one is perfect, and everyone makes mistakes. When someone criticizes you, it's easy to feel defensive or angry. But humility allows you to admit your flaws without shame. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher and advisor to the Roman Emperor Nero, wrote, "The wise person is neither raised up by praise nor cast down by blame." When you accept that you are not perfect, criticism becomes less threatening. You can acknowledge your mistakes, learn from them, and move forward. Humility also helps you stay grounded when others praise you. You don't get too high or too low because you know your true worth comes from within, not from others' opinions. Fifth, Stoicism teaches us to respond to criticism with kindness and understanding. When someone criticizes you, it's natural to want to criticize them back. But the Stoics advise against this. Instead, try to understand why they are criticizing you. Are they trying to help? Are they feeling insecure or frustrated? Are they simply mistaken? By approaching criticism with empathy, you can often diffuse the situation and avoid unnecessary conflict. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When people injure you, ask yourself what good or harm they thought would come of it. If you understand their motives, you will feel sympathy rather than anger." This doesn't mean you have to agree with their criticism, but it does mean you can respond with grace and respect. Sixth, the Stoics encourage us to prepare for criticism in advance. Life is unpredictable, and people will always have opinions about what you do. By mentally preparing yourself for criticism, you can face it with confidence. Epictetus advised, begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. When you expect criticism, it loses its power to surprise or upset you. You can greet it with calmness and clarity, knowing that it is simply part of life. Seventh, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own character rather than others' opinions. The Stoics believe that the only true good in life is virtue, things like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. External things like wealth, fame, or praise are not truly good because they can be taken away at any moment. When you focus on developing your character, criticism becomes less important. You know that as long as you are acting with integrity and doing your best, others' opinions cannot diminish your worth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. B1. By living according to your values, you can face criticism with confidence and peace. 8. The Stoics remind us to keep things in perspective. When someone criticizes you, it's easy to blow it out of proportion. You might feel like the whole world is against you, or that this one criticism defines your entire life. But the Stoics encourage us to take a step back and see the bigger picture. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? Often, the answer is no. By focusing on the long term, you can avoid overreacting to small or temporary setbacks. Seneca wrote, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. When you stop exaggerating the importance of criticism, it becomes easier to handle. 9th, Stoicism teaches us to accept that not everyone will like us. No matter how kind, talented, or hardworking you are, there will always be people who criticize or disapprove of you. This is a natural part of life, and it's not something you can change. The Stoics advise us to accept this reality rather than fighting against it. Epictetus said, if you try to please everyone, you will please no one. Instead of trying to win everyone's approval, focus on being true to yourself and living according to your values. When you stop seeking validation from others, you free yourself from the fear of criticism. 10th, the Stoics remind us that criticism can be a test of our character. How we respond to criticism reveals a lot about who we are. Do we get angry and defensive? Do we crumble under pressure? Or do we stay calm, learn, and grow? The Stoics believe that challenges, including criticism, are opportunities to practice virtue. By facing criticism with courage, humility, and wisdom, we become stronger and more resilient. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When we see criticism as a chance to grow, it transforms from an obstacle into a stepping stone. In conclusion, the Stoic approach to handling criticism is about shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing criticism as a threat, you can see it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to practice virtue. By focusing on what you can control, separating criticism from your self-worth, and responding with calmness and kindness, you can handle criticism with grace and strength. Remember, the opinions of others do not define you. Your true worth comes from within, from your character, and your actions. As the Stoics teach us, the key to a good life is not avoiding criticism, but learning to rise above it. So the next time someone criticizes you, take a deep breath, remember these lessons, and respond with the wisdom of a Stoic.